separation between the Samaritan mountains and the Galilee mountains. It's the breadbasket of Israel, at least one of them. And it's the valley that is called in the book of Revelation, Har Megiddo. Megiddo is the name of the city that we're going to next, and we're going to eat lunch there. And it was an ancient city, and we'll go into that when we get down there, but it also guarded the pass on the great trade route called the Via Maris, the way of the sea. And that's why these chariot cities of Solomon, and when we get to Megiddo, we'll talk about this. But there were three of them. One in Gezer, south of Jerusalem, that guarded the Ajalon Valley, the way of the sea. This one, which Megiddo guarded the Jezreel Valley. And then to the north, which we will see day after tomorrow, is Hatzor, or Hazer, as we call it. And it guarded the Hula Valley from the north. And so these were strategic cities. And we'll talk about a city and what it is, and what makes a city, what separates it from villages and towns and so forth. And a lot of things will begin to make sense to you. I wish we could see this today, because this is called the place of the burning in Arabic, Mukraka. And that is one of the reasons we bring you here. This is the highest point on the Carmel mountain range, which is a finger mountain from the Samaritan mountains that goes all the way out to the sea, and it blocks the way to the sea, the Via Maris, the road, and so they had to come through this pass here. Hopefully, as we're driving to the hotel, you'll be able to see Mount Tabor, which is the great geographical landmark. It looks like one of those old black cast iron wash kettles that's just turned upside down. It's round. It's perfectly round for me. Way, so it's unique. So it was a natural land compass, and maybe we'll be able to see at least some of it on the way over. If not, then we'll get a glimpse of it on a clear day. But the reason we bring you here is because this is one of those sites. When this is a good place to just talk to you about general archaeology. There's places here where X marks the spot. We know this is where it happened. This is it. We know Jesus walked here. We know Abraham walked here. That's X marks the spot. Everybody with me? Okay, that's a grade A site. X marks the spot. Yeah, from there it grades down. Okay, a B plus to A minus site would be, this is not X marks the spot. We don't know that it just happened right here, but this is the vicinity in the area, and we've got good archaeological and historical reasons why. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah. And so this is a minus B plus site for the place of the confrontation with Elijah and the prophets of Baal in 1 Kings 18. Why? Well, again, you've got to have justification, or it's a C spot, which means your guess is as good as mine. And so there's plenty of those as well. But the reason that we believe this is a place is, one, is that from ancient times it's been called the place of the burning, or the place of sacrifice. And that does have weight with the others, because this is the horns of Carmel. It's the highest point. If you're going to make sacrifices and build an altar, it's always on the highest place. It's never at a lower place. And you'll remember in the Bible, the Jewish people, the Israelites, had a problem with high place burning. And as a matter of fact, it would say that such and such a king did everything well, but he did not remove the high places. Everybody remember those things? Yeah, so this is it. And that means they did a lot of things well, but they still had some things undone that were glaring sins. This is one of those places. This is the horns of Carmel. Now, if it was a clear day on the other side of the valley at Nazareth, you could look over here, and the mountain comes out, and then it just kind of comes up. Where it comes up, the horns, that's where we are right now. Okay? From this place also, it is the only place you can go down to the Kishon River from here, because all of the mountain is what we would call in East Tennessee a bluff. In the Ozarks, you have those. It's just like a mule face. Nobody's going to climb down them or up them unless they're scaling. Here, there is a place to go down to the river. That's important because that is part of the biblical account that they went down and even killed the prophets down there. And so from this place also you can see the sea. And so Elijah, remember, prayed and then sent his servant and said, go up and look. So Elijah was praying. He said, go up on the horn there. And on a clear day, you can see the sea. And from here, it's about 17 miles to Jezreel, which was the capital of Ahab and Jezebel, you recall. And this whole area down here, we might see some flooding and some of the streams out of banks, but normally it's just as dry as could be, except during the rainy season. And then the Bible is replete with stories about Sisera, you remember, and the young girl, Yael, we call her Jael, that took the tent stake and put it through the sleeping Sisera's head. What a woman. And anyway, all of that happened in this muddy valley, you remember, because Elijah said rain is coming and it's going to be so much rain that you better go or you're going to get stuck, right, your chariot in this. And so Elijah ran 17 miles ahead of the chariot, which is a pretty good pace to be keeping, especially if you're trying to hurry up. And so all of that, and the fact that from ancient times, this has been the historical place where it took place. So I've given you 4 or 5 reasons why the Carmelite group of Roman Catholics, this is where they were founded. Many of you know that Catholics have various orders, the Franciscans, the Jesuits, so forth. Well, they also have the Carmelites. This is their headquarters. This is where it all began for them, was here. And that dates back into church history as well.
Clear enough.
So, can you begin to see some of these? Yeah, okay. Well, let's see if we can go up. If you want to, you can go up. It's going to be very windy up there. And so you might just go up and look and see what you can see. The sea is back that way. You're not going to see it. But that is the Jezreel Valley down there. And if you look close, and it's right just about out where those ponds are going to see out there, there's landing strips. They're almost in a V shape. That's an Israeli Air Force base. And you won't see any planes or any jets because when they go into the runway, they go down just like an aircraft carrier to a base that is under the valley. That makes sure that their planes are not going to be hit by drones or enemy aircraft fire. And so, but you might see that it might clear up out there if you could go on up.
That's it.